Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos, and welcome to Ballonlea City, where today, in the second last round of the season, the Ballonlea Angels are going to be hosting the Fortree Flies. Now, Fortree Flies are going to be starting out with Lucha and Sigilif, whereas Weezing and Hatterene are going to stay out for the Ballonlea Angels, and Weezing has that Misty Surge ability, so it's going to nullify anyone's abilities. But there's a huge matchup today for the Fortree Flies because they are equal 8th with the Trevita Cascade, so they want to win today. So let us know in the comments below who you think will get the victory. Will it be the Ballonlea Angels, or will the Fortree Flies get that much needed victory? Or which will be starting out for the Fortree Flies, and it goes with that Power Whip. Targets Weezing with that move. Not a bad hit to start off the battle considering it was a not very effective attack. Sigilif is looking to follow up though, see if it can do more damage. Goes with the parting shot. So it's going to look to lower the stats here, and it does target Weezing as well. So Weezing's attack and special attack will be lowered as Sigilif will go back to the bench. Don't be confused just because it's left the screen. It is still in this matchup. And already though, Fortree Flies are sending out a different Pokemon, and it's Noivern, the Dragon Flying type. Weezing now goes with the Mega Kick, targeting Hawlucha there. Very good hit considering Weezing already had its attack stat lowered. You have to wonder how much more it would have done, as Hatterene now is going to go with a Sing. It's going to put Noivern to sleep here. So we may start to hear Noivern snoring over the battlefield. And Noivern is fast asleep there, snoring his way through this matchup as Hawlucha is going to have to do the heavy lifting for the Fortree Flies, and it goes with the Minimize, so it's going to boost its evasiveness here. See if the Ballonlea Angels choose to target Noivern, the easier target. Get a Leah now, coming from Weezing. So Hawlucha does avoid the attack, but it will lower Noivern's defense. Hatterene looking to follow up. And it's going to go with the dual wing beat, so it's going to hit twice. Goes for Hawlucha. Very good hit with that first one. The second one almost eliminates Hawlucha. Super effective. Hawlucha's still holding on there. Now, as always, this is a 6-on-6 Metronome battle, and if we hit that 20-minute time limit, we will go into single battle overtime. But Noivern's already woken up. And it's going to go with the Draining Kiss here, looking to restore some of its health. Goes for Hatterene, Pokemon who did put it to sleep. Hawlucha's going to follow up. Goes with the Defog. Focuses in on Weezing there. So we'll lower Weezing's evasiveness, and that Misty that's hanging over the battlefield will disappear thanks to the Defog. Weezing now is going to go with the Wild Charge. This will be super effective. Goes for Noivern. And I apologize, it's actually only regularly effective because of Noivern's Dragon typing. You know, the flying types are weak against electric type attacks, as we get a low sweep coming from Hatterene, which will take Noivern down into the yellow, even though it wasn't very effective. And it's also going to lower Noivern's speed. Now, Noivern has that 123 base speed. It's the second quickest Pokemon on the Fortree Flyers. But now Hawlucha will be moving faster, and it's going to go with the Throat Chop. Goes for Hatterene with that attack, and a very decent hit. Almost gets Hatterene below half its health. Noivern's going to follow up with a Tearful Look here, but Hatterene's Magic Bounce ability is going to shoot that Tearful Look straight back at Noivern. So now Noivern is going to have its attack stat lowered, as well as its special attack. Weezing now is going to go with a Grass Knot. This move is more effective the heavier the Pokemon, so it's not going to do a great deal of damage to Noivern, and it's already not very effective. Hatterene goes with the Frenzy Plant, another grass type attack. Goes for Hawlucha. This should finish it off, and Hawlucha has been taken down and eliminated by Hatterene there. First elimination of this matchup. That's not how the Fortree Flyers need to start this off. But we're going to have Sigilif coming back out onto the field. See if Sigilif can make up for it. Now the Ballonlea Angels, we already know, can't make the championship trials. Well, they could, but their odds are so slim. They need practically 2 perfect games, and the odds of that happening are so slim as we get a Venoshock coming from Sigilif, which will take Weezing down into the yellow. Now Weezing is a part poison type, so it prevents that from being super effective. As we get a Brick Break now coming from Noivern. Goes for Hatterene, and it's not very effective on the Psychic Fairy type. Rock Smash now coming from Weezing. Continuing to target Noivern. That's not very effective. Again, everyone's going for the not very effective attacks in this matchup. Now Sigalev's going to go with the self-destruct. It's going to take itself out of this battle. It's going to take down Hatterene, but it will take down its teammate Noivern as well. So Ballonlea Angels are still in front with 3 Pokemon already being eliminated from the Fortree Flyers, but that's the first elimination from the Ballonlea Angels. Like I said, the Ballonlea Angels practically need a perfect game, and they've already had an elimination, so it would make it much, much harder. But not only that, they need the teams above them to lose. So like I said, the odds of them making the championship trials are so slim, you may as well rule them out. They need a miracle, as we have Ninetales come out for the Ballonlea Angels, and it's a Alolan form. It's got that Snow Warning ability, so it will start to hail. Remember, Archeops and Talonflame come out for the Fortree Flyers. Now, Talonflame is actually the quickest Pokemon on the Fortree Flyers with its 126 speed, and it's going to go with the Psychic Fangs. Goes for Ninetales, a decent hit for its first move in the matchup. Archeops is going to look to follow it up. Archeops is going to go with the Tri-Attack. Goes for Weezing here, should finish it off, and that it does, so Weezing has been eliminated. Ninetales now, who's actually the quickest Pokemon on the Ballonlea Angels. It's just that so many of the Fortree Flyers Pokemon are very speedy. Goes with the peck there on Talonflame. This Talonflame will take damage from that hail, and so will Archeops. Gonna have the 4th Pokemon now for the Ballonlea Angels come out. And it's Alcremie, the delicious cake-looking Pokemon. See if Alcremie could keep things on the side of the Ballonlea Angels. Talonflame. Fire Flying type's going to go with an Aurora Beam. Goes for Ninetales. It's not very effective on the Ice Fairy type. Now Archeops is going to go with the Water Pulse. This one's going to welcome Alcremie to the field. Doesn't do a great deal of damage, however. Ninetales needs to capitalize on its Ice typing. But instead goes with a Moonlight, so it's going to restore its health. This should get Ninetales pretty close back to full strength. Now Creamy's going to go with a Harden and boost its defenses here. Now it's actually got a defense of only 75, which in the Elite Challenge League isn't very high, as that hail continues to hit the flying types as well as Alcremie on the field. Ninetales' ability inadvertently doing damage to its own teammates. Talonflame goes with a Grass Knot. We already saw this performed by Weezing. See if it has more effect on Alcremie. And that it does not. It does very minimal damage to Alcremie there. Archeops is going to follow up with a Toxic though. So Ninetales is going to be badly poisoned. So Ninetales will be taking damage in between turns, and it's going to continue to get worse every turn for Ninetales. Ninetales is going to respond with a Poison type move of its own, Poison Sting. Going for Talonflame there, but Talonflame isn't left poisoned. Now Alcremie with a chance to follow up is going to go with the Toxic Spike, so a very poison-based turn. Those Toxic Spikes are going to be completely irrelevant to the Fortree Flyers because they're all flying, they're not going to touch the spikes. If we see a court change from the Fortree Flyers though, it'll be very bad for the Ballonlea Angels. There's Ninetales taking its first dose of damage from that Toxic. As I said, the Fortree Flyers are sitting tied for 8th position. They're trying so hard to get into the championship trials. They are so close. If they can win today and win next week, you have to think they're going to lock up their position. Talonflame goes with the Flame Wheel. For Ninetales, super effective. Ninetales holds on though, but it has that Toxic. So you've got to think this is going to be Ninetales' last turn of the matchup. As Archeops goes with a Topsy-Turvy. Targeting Alcremie here. So all of Alcremie's stat changes have been reversed. We're going to get a final Gambit coming from Ninetales. You have to think that's actually a really good play, because Ninetales knew it was going to be finished off, so it goes for a final Gambit and takes itself out of the battle trying to do some damage to Talonflame, but it didn't do a great deal of damage, unfortunately. Now we get a Power Trick coming from Alcremie. Creamy's going to switch its attack and defense stats as that hail continues to hit everybody on the field. We're actually all level on the battle now. 3 Pokemon have been eliminated from both sides, and 3 Pokemon are remaining on each side as Grimmsnarl comes out for the Ballonlea Angels. And Grimmsnarl is Dark Fairy type. See what impact it can have in this matchup. Talonflame now going for the high horsepower. Goes for Alcremie, and a very impressive hit. Alcremie's holding on. Archeops could finish it off here. Goes with the workup instead though, so it's just going to boost its own stats instead of finishing off Alcremie. I have to think that's a pretty poor choice of move, as this would have been the chance for the Fortree Flyers to take the lead in this matchup. Expanding force now coming from Alcremie. Targeting Archeops there. Decent hit, taking Archeops down into the yellow. And Grimmsnarl's going to go with the Zen Headbutt. Targets Archeops as well. And it finishes it off, so Archeops has been eliminated. A very good 1-2 combination by Alcremie and Grimmsnarl there to put the Ballonlea Angels back in front. That hail finally stops over the battlefield as well. Now last Pokemon for the Fortree Flyers, and Pheasant, the 10th draft pick for the Flyers, comes out onto the battlefield. Talonflame going to go with the Brutal Swing. This is going to hit everyone on the battlefield, including on Pheasant. But it finishes off Alcremie, which is probably the most important part, but unfortunately it's a critical hit on Unpheasant. So Alcremie is eliminated and is now down to a 2 versus 2 battle, as Unpheasant is going to go for its first move of the matchup. And it's going to go with the Sweet Kiss, but Grimmsnarl avoids that attack. Grimmsnarl is going to go with the Vice Grip. Targets Unpheasant here. Looking to follow up on Talonflame's damage to the Flying type. And Carbink, the last Pokemon for the Ballonlea Angels, comes out. Carbink, so defensive. Could be a very good last Pokemon for the Ballonlea Angels to have on the field. It has actually held on by one point of health this season. See if it can do it again, as that Mega Kick is avoided by Grimmsnarl from Talonflame. And Pheasant now is going to go with the Icicle Spear. Targeting Carbink, gets the first hit. See if we can get all 5. It gets 2. It's got 3. It's gonna get 4. It gets all 5. It is a 5-time hit. That is a very good move there by Unpheasant. Grimmsnarl now going with the Coil. So it's going to boost its stats. You have to wonder if that's a good choice, as this is a very critical time, but Grimmsnarl will boost its attack, defense, and accuracy with that Coil. Now Carbink's going to go with the Magic Powder. Targets Talonflame with that move. Now Talonflame's type's been changed to Psychic. This could be good for Grimmsnarl. If it can use a Dark type move on Talonflame, you have to think it could potentially finish it off. Now Talonflame's going to go with the Sweet Scent. So it's going to lower the evasiveness of the Ballonlea Angels Pokemon here. Make them easier targets for the Flyers. Now Unpheasant's going to follow it up. Goes with the Tail Whip. So they're just lowering the stats of the Fairy types at the moment. Carbink and Grimmsnarl both having their defenses lowered. Grimmsnarl has that chance to capitalize on taking no damage this turn. It's going to go with a Fling, so it's going to throw its Leper Berry. And it targets Talonflame here. Takes Talonflame down into the yellow with that super effective move, but yeah. It didn't do a great deal of damage, and it was super effective. Because now, remember, Talonflame is a Psychic type. Carbink now is going to go with a Bolt Beak. Now, this will be super effective on the Flying types. Goes for Talonflame though, but Talonflame holds on because Talonflame is a Psychic type. If it was still the Flying type, it would have been eliminated. Now Talonflame's going to go with the Fake Tears. Continuing to knock over for the offensive moves on the Fortree Flyers. Instead, it's going to lower Carbink's special defense, which could be a good play if they keep lowering those defensive stats of Carbink. It will make it an easier target, and we're going to get an arm thrust from Unpheasant. Going for Grimmsnarl, multi-hit move, gets a critical hit on the first one. So Unpheasant continuing to go for those multi-hit moves. It's got 3 now. It'll hit 3 times with that one. But Grimmsnarl's Pickpocket allows it to steal the Leper Berry from Unpheasant. Now Grimstyle's going to go with the high horsepower, but it won't affect the flying types because they are immune to ground type attacks. Now Carbink's going to go with a block. Targets Talonflame, so Talonflame can't escape, but no one's running away from these Elite Challenge League battles. And we hope you aren't either. We hope that you're sticking around to watch them. And if you are, we greatly appreciate it as Talonflame goes with the Poison Powder. Going for Grimmsnarl here, so this is the second Pokemon for the Ballonlea Angels that's been poisoned in this matchup. So we'll be taking damage from that poisoning in between turns. And Pheasant now is going to go with the Stone Edge. And it's going to go for Carbink, and a huge hit and critical hit. Carbink has been eliminated, so lowering those defenses have paid off for the Fortree Flyers as they take the lead in these crucial moments of the matchup. Now Grimmsnarl is going to prepare for its Skull Bash. It's going to tuck its head and boost its defense on this turn. See if it can last until the next turn to get that hit. It looks like it will, but Grimmsnarl will be taking damage from that poisoning first. Talonflame and Unpheasant need to hit Grimmsnarl as hard as they can. Talonflame, if it takes any hits, you know will be eliminated. It has such minimal health left. As it goes with a Mega Horn. And that'll take Grimmsnarl down into the yellow. See if Unpheasant now can follow it up. Goes with the Leafage. And Grimmsnarl's taken down into the red, but still holding on as it's going to go with its Skull Bash. This will finish Talonflame off. Have to wonder if it would have been better to go for Unpheasant if it could have gotten the elimination. As Grimmsnarl takes damage from that poisoning, which means Grimmsnarl needs to eliminate Unpheasant now. Unpheasant will go first though, so if it goes for a physical move, it will hit. We're going to get an Aurora Veil though, it will fail. This is Grimmsnarl's chance. And Grimmsnarl's going to go with a Solar Blade, which it needs another turn because it has to charge up on this turn. It will not get that opportunity. The poisoning is going to take Grimmsnarl down, so it's eliminated as we get the 3-minute warning. But we don't need that because the Fortree Flyers have won today. They did everything they needed to do to try and assure their spot in the championship trials. See how the Trevita Cascade go later on in the round. But a big win today for the Fortree Flyers, keeping their hopes alive of making the trials. And next week, they're going to be having a huge matchup, which is going to be a challenge for them to lock up their spot as they travel to the Alola region to face the Malleus Draconids. That'll be a huge matchup between two top 8 sides. Whereas the Ballonlea Angels were unable to play spoilers today. They've made it hard for the Fortree Flyers, getting as many eliminations as they could. But they could not come out with a victory today. Next week, they'll be hosting the Spike Devils in the last matchup of the season. That'll be in Ballonlea City as well. But unfortunately, the Ballonlea Angels, we know, will not be making the championship trials this season. Well done to the Fortree Flyers though. Slow start for them, but they did come back around and get that victory. Well done to Unpheasant to get that victory for the Fortree Flyers. Very back and forth matchup though. And that elimination of Carbink, such a defensive Pokemon, a very good hit, taking that down. And sadly, Grimmsnarl going for those 2 hit moves paid off with the Skull Bash. The Solar Blade was not going to work. Nidorinos, thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below who you thought was the best on the field. If you enjoyed what you saw, leave a like, share, subscribe, but more importantly, always remember, you are awesome, and I will speak to you next time.